One thing that hurts this celebration a lot, again, the celebration has had a lot of content. It's just factually true. I mean, people get very sensitive and salty about it, but it is true. It's just that the content we've gotten, the stages we've gotten, have not really been very good.
You serious?
As it says on the tin, the worldwide download celebration for 2024 is basically done. I'm writing this on the 20th with the knowledge that we won't be getting the big, spooky final boss stage until around the 25th, and it's mostly because I don't believe this will increase my opinion of the overall quality of the celebration much. Bear in mind, this could literally be the best, most fun stage I've ever made, especially with how good all of our characters are. It doesn't really elevate the feel of being mired in this celebration with not much to do beyond auto a few new, easy stages, collect our stones, and go back to link leveling. For that reason, I'll be autoing the new, exciting content drop we got this week in the background of this video, just to make the point that you can release as much quantity as you want. It'll never make up for a lack of quality. A gift and a curse, the characters are genuinely amazing this time around, with 3 out of the 4 being in contention for some of the best in their class. I'm willing to give people their majority when they say that Int Broly is probably on the lower end of the LR list, but that still puts him among an elite class, with his revive being a mechanic that should elevate him once there's actually content to threaten it. I've since retracted my earlier statement that this celebration is somehow unique in providing routinely quality characters, as 2024 is just dazzling in this regard. Dokkan Fest First Form Frieza continues to stick out like a sore thumb, with every other notable release being above and beyond. The curse in this case is that the villain side of the celebration, which is the theme of the celebration, is incredibly one-dimensional. At first, I was a bit reluctant to accept that only one character from the villain side would headline, because Saiyan villains typically end up being just super units that pretend to help villain teams. As the celebration went on, and the characters looked incredibly competent, I came around to the idea. I wasn't dooming about it at first, but now I was on board for the time being. Now that we're about to be removed from this celebration with the kit choices and characters behind us, I'm ready to reaffirm my original stance. This celebration would have loved a second character as our DFE. Intel Broly essentially runs the same team as AGL Broly, but with less villain options to his core. His domain isn't necessary to keep up throughout the fight, which means he would clash with AGL Broly's needs if they were to be run under the double Broly lead. Super AGL double Broly, that is. If you did run AGL Broly for the added character pool, you end up with the other characters such as Goku Black, who conflict again with the domain limit, so on and so forth. Though it was exciting to get 2 very strong Brolys, as well as the powerful Easy A Broly and possibly Super Easy A Broly we're still waiting on. This has confirmed my previous fears, a celebration that spans a month and a half with only one team buffed on the villain side. Meanwhile, the Goku, Gohan, and Trunks LR make up this overtly absurd roster under an incredible lead, dynamic, meaningful, and deep, though they do require a movie hero or all-out struggle unit on the rotation to access their multiple turn support. If you do, you gain access to a wealth of characters that add this uniqueness to your teams that otherwise couldn't exist. Compared to Broly's extremely limited options, and you start to wonder why we didn't just get some arguably less hype character choice like Bojack, but with a team that could shine a light on characters like Frieza, Turles, etc. Of course, I say all of that keeping in mind that Broly has been exciting, the Brolys are good. It's not like you could complain if you're a Broly fan. It's just that we're probably not going to get much more Broly after this year, because we got Super Broly and then 2 Z Brolys and then actually 3 Z Brolys, because the LR free-to-play Bio Broly is here. So it just feels a little weird to have dumped the payload like this and to really only see them on one single team. Also, arguably, we're not really going to be returning to this level of power anytime soon, I think. I'm just going to say that suggestively because the 10th anniversary is coming and they will probably be looking to capitalize on a swath of new players, new excitement by just completely flattening the game into a new era. I sort of had this weird theory that the Worldwide Download Celebrations content has been so easy, so just lackluster, because they want the newness of it all to invite players in that haven't played the game before. So this feels like a celebration, though we're synced, though it should be hype and the content should be good and it should be this and that. Notice how they're giving out stones passively rather than through actually playing the missions. Maybe we could have seen it written as stars with how much the marketing has been focused on global instead of on the established player base. It's been this, get in now, play Dokkan now, Dokkan's coming, there's going to be new stuff, you should play right now because the servers are synced and the schedules are synced, etc, etc. Of course, I don't have like an inside source or anything, so I can't confirm any of this, but it just feels like, because of the decision making and the way they handled the sync, which is pretty awful, basically just a complete dead zone, and then this revitalization, this pump of content that you don't want to miss out on. Imagine someone makes a completely new gacha let's call it Dokkan Global, for instance, and you want to get people spending money as fast as possible, you just jam must-have content in front of them so that they spend and spend and spend and so on and so forth. And with that in mind, you start getting into the mindset of like, maybe that's why the content has been so middling. It's a lot of it. It's a lot of things to do, especially if you're a new player who has never really played Dokkan before this celebration that's the announcement of the sync, that's exciting, that you should play right now. But when you zoom out and you've been playing for a while, you're like, wow, none of this is really good. But that's just my tinfoil hat theory. I said this before in a prior video, but there's no disincentivizing factor from keeping them from just releasing stages and pumping stats into them. It's the only thing you can do in Dokkan. There are no other systems that exist outside of these challenge fights, so they should just be pumping them out. This is before my time, but maybe back in the day you could do, you know, Super Battle Extreme whatever the fuck road, or you know, maybe Easy 8 grinding was content, but it's just not where we're at anymore, and they need to actually like update their functions. But with all that said, this is certainly not a terrible celebration. It's not the worst celebration. You can start categorizing it into its class of like worldwide versus worldwide, or 9th anniversary versus it, at which case it is much further below. I don't think the new stage coming out will change this at all, because we still had to get to this point. We still had to wait to get to this point. So with a lack of in-between EZAs, what feels like a canyon of difference between the theme character Broly and his contemporaries in the Family Kamehameha Gohan and the Miracle Punch Trio, this is just one of those vibe checks that does not feel rewarding. The characters are amazing, they are no doubt amazing, but I do feel like the content in this celebration was sacrificed. The budget was sacrificed to plan for Sparking Zero, plan for Daima. It just is the kind of sixth sense I'm getting. But I've been Lone. If you like this video, subscribe to join the club. We just hit monetization, which is crazy. 500 and some odd of y'all. Super thankful. That's, you know, I put up 90 videos or something before this, and it was just for fun. It's still just for fun. I'm still having a great time. Comment, tell me what's up if you liked it, if you didn't like the celebration. I think it was okay, but if we're just gonna go by the title, fire or flop, it's a flop for me. We all gonna make it, man. Peace.